Welcome back, everyone, to the Paige Kornblue Show. I'm Paige Kornblue, and you can't get much better than this in the football world. Having a guest like Desmond Howard on the show. 1991 Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl 31, MVP, father, right? Another big role in your life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
A whole long list of accomplishments, and we're going to touch upon a lot of those through this. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, I forgot your other huge role, ESPN College GameDay host.
Yeah, my day job.
For how many years now?
This is my 20th season. 20th season. Yes. It goes by kind of fast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen a lot, happen since I began in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the excitement of it all in terms of college football. I wanted to just start with kind of for love of the game, right?
Okay.
Why college football? What do you love about it? I know you were a player, but continuing and just this game, right?
Yeah, well, college football is really special, right? And, I played both levels. I played college in Michigan. I played NFL too. And, the NFL is as big as it gets. That's the highest, that you can reach in the sport. But college football is so unique. I mean, there's just this really unique culture that's there that I think, I don't want to say one's better than the other, but it's different. Like, it's a different culture. And so to, continue to be a part of that culture by being on ESPN's College Game Day is really a blessing. And, just keeps me involved in the game. And, I love it. I love it. The thing that I really like about my show is the guys who I do the show with, we all love, college football.
And it shows, right? and with all of these players, who I'm sure you're so close with, it's an everyday leading up to event. Take us behind the scenes a little bit of the prep work.
Oh, man. It's it's almost impossible to quantify it because it's constant. It's like watching film. It's like talking to SIDs, like sports information directors, who are like the PR people for the school. It's talking to, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. Nowadays, you have what's called an analyst. An offensive analyst, a defensive analyst, because everything has to be analyzed nowadays, So anyway, so it's constant, and then it's making tapes because I have to do tapes for our show. We have a 3-hour live show, College Game Day, on ESPN every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time to 12 p.m. And during the show, we have a breakdown. While breaking down tapes, it may be a team's offense or a team's defense, or just may be a player on the team. But anyway, so there's just a lot of activity during the week that leads up to that show on Saturday. And so it's really hard to quantify the amount of time that goes into it because, once I'm done talking to coaches in one region, then I have to start talking to coaches in a different region, like on the West Coast. You still got your USCs, your UCLAs, your Washingtons, your Oregon. So, once I start, finish talking to maybe the Clemsons, the Louisville, the Miamis, the Michigan, then I have to talk to the West Coast teams after dinner.
After dinner. You just mentioned Michigan. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to mention Go Blues so far in this interview, right? That should be right at the top.
I would have, we may want to do the whole A's again, just redo the A's now. I absolutely. Go Blue.
We share a love for Michigan, both That's graduates.
Right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And I want to get into that time. But starting with when you were a boy, was football your first sport? Were there other sports in there growing up?
Yeah, Paige, the first organized sport. Now, of course, you went outside, you played sandlot football, pickup basketball, things of that nature. But the first organized sport that I actually played with the team in the league was baseball. Yeah, I was a center fielder, and I loved baseball. And our team was really, really, my teams are really good. You went to like a little league, to like a minor league, and what they call like the majors, for kids. But anyway, and I really enjoyed it. But I played, so that was the first organized sport. Then I played, organized football. That's another story. And then organized basketball at the John F. Kennedy Recreation Center. And then I played for my junior high school, then my high school. But anyway, so yeah, baseball is the first sport, but football was probably my first love. Like, I went out in the yard and played football with my friends. That's the one that I really gravitated to. I would say the most, ran track. So I did them all, not like these kids nowadays. It's like, if you play this sport, you play it year round, you have a specialist who's training you and blah, blah, blah. Not how I came up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So football, obviously, you rose in high school.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we could touch upon so many different, stories at that time.
Absolutely.
But let's fast forward a moment. Michigan. Okay. What was it about Michigan at that moment? I'm sure there were different offers.
Yeah. So my school, and I don't even know if it still happens, but the USA Today, they used to rank the top 25 high school football programs in the nation. And so my school was nationally ranked in football. Like every week you would get to see we're 13th now, we moved up 2 slots. We're 11th now. So anyway, so my high school was known for basketball and known for football. Our football program was pretty good. And so I was highly recruited. And back then, old Schembechler was like larger than life. He was uber popular head football coach at Michigan. And so once my talents blossomed in football beyond other sports, I knew I was going to go to college for football. And I'm going to tell you one thing, Paige. So I went to go visit Michigan. I had 5 official visits, right? And you get a kick out of this. Even though I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, like born and raised in Cleveland, I never, ever took an official or unofficial visit to Ohio State. And I was right up the road in Cleveland. So that would have been really, really easy, Yeah. But so I go up to Michigan. I take my official visit. And I remember sitting outside Bo Schembechler's office. And I'm like, damn, like on the other side of those doors is the great Bo Schembechler. And, he had like a reputation, we just call it, back then it was called tough love.
Right.
Yeah. Now it may be called something different.
Too tough love.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyways, I was kind of intimidated. I was like, wow, nervous. And I opened up those doors. I went in to meet Coach Schembechler and sat down. And, he couldn't have been nicer. He was great, but he was what I needed at that time because it was actually what I would call an extension from the coaching that I received since I was a little boy. And that was like, first and foremost, a great foundation of discipline. He was a disciplinarian. And my coaches from Little League football, from St. Tim's to St. Joe's, my high school, my high school coach, he was a legend in Ohio football coaches. His name was Bill Gutbrod, and he fought in World War II. Yeah. So he was, he used to drill us like we were about to go to war. So he was kind of an extension. Bo Schembechler was like that discipline as a foundation and everything. I knew that's the type of coaching that's always brought the best out of me. So at that point, it was like, okay, this is my school. This is my guy.
And soon you quickly learned, and I'm sure you still today, the team.
Oh, yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah, because it's like nothing's bigger than the team. And when you have, don't forget, like, this guy was larger than life, right? He was like a college football icon. And for him to sit in front of us and tell us, like, nobody's bigger than the team. Not no one man, not even myself, talking about him, Coach Schembechler. I'm like, wow. Like, if he says he's not even bigger than the team, then okay, that says it all.
They switched positions on you, right?
Yeah. So in high school back then, you played multiple positions. So I was a starting running back, tailback, and I also started on defense. So I started my senior year. I started safety. So like my junior year, I started cornerback. So they knew I was pretty good in the backfield. So when I went to Michigan, when you go to freshman camp, you get 3 days like by your, 3 days as a freshman class before the upperclassmen come in. So you get acclimated to, the system. So the first day of camp, I played defensive back, cornerback. Second day I played, which was like kind of my natural position from high school, running back. And the third day I played wide receiver. And so the coaches at that time was obviously Bo Schembechler was the head coach, but Gary Moeller was the offensive coordinator. And so Gary and Bo sat me in a room and they said, we think you can help us faster and more effectively at wide receiver. They said, we know, you can catch the ball because I led the state in interceptions my senior year. They said, and we have like a running back room that has a lot of guys in it, but our wideouts, they're upperclassmen, they're like seniors, and they're moving on after the season. So we'd love for you to like learn from them and become a receiver. I said, no problem, coach. This is the team.
Yeah.
This is best for the team.
Yeah.
I'll be in the receivers meeting room tomorrow. And so that's how I made that switch. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a couple of years later, the Heisman.
Yeah, which is like kind of still mind blowing because back then, just erase what you know of college football today, where they're just passing the ball all over the field. It wasn't like that, especially in Michigan. Michigan was known as their offense was known as 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Meaning we ran the ball all the time. Yeah. Exactly. So I was playing the wide out and I had to like get acclimated to all the blocking that's necessary and all that stuff. But it's something that we still like some of my friends and I, we laugh at it today that wow, like you went to Michigan and won the Heisman as a wide receiver at a time where they really didn't throw the ball.
If people knew the enormity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was like, yeah, that blew everybody's mind. Like, wait, what? A receiver from Michigan? Like, not a running back? Like a receiver? Like, yeah, this little kid, number 21.
And number 21, you mentioned, wouldn't happen if not for the influence and support and love of someone very close to you who you, I'm so sorry, recently lost, Greg Harden.
Yeah. So when I made the switch, like I said, I had a learning curve as far as the blocking is concerned. Now, this is like the biggest issue. The easiest way to explain it is, as a running back, I had to block, but you blocked guys who was like, they weren't avoiding you because you're blocking the guy who's trying to get through you to get to the quarterback for the most part. So if you're a running back, you're stepping up, the quarterback is behind you, and this guy's trying to get through you to the quarterback. So there's always going to be like, there's not going to be a lot of avoidance, and it's easier to pick them up. They're in a limited space. You know what I mean? To me, it's easier to block. As a wide receiver, you're out there on the island by yourself with another guy who's probably just as athletic as you are, but he's playing defense because he can't catch the football. So these guys ain't trying to get blocked. And he got a lot of space to maneuver. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. And my receivers coach, Cam Cameron, was like, we're not playing yet until you block. I'm like, man, I'm trying. It's just these guys are shifty. Yeah. So anyway, so I was, long story short, there was a gentleman on the staff by the name of Greg Harden. And I observed Greg for probably like about almost a year. And I used to just be fascinated by, his ability to like capture the attention of all these knuckleheads that I was in the locker room with. Like, I'll be in class with some of these guys and, within 12, 13 minutes, their attention is somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? But when Greg Harden spoke to us, like you're on the edge of your seat. You're hanging on every word. So I was like, man, this guy's fascinating. Let me check him out. So as I was like wrestling with what was going on in my personal life, as far as football was concerned, I reached out to him and asked to have a meeting with him. And, and we did. And that meeting pretty much, because at that point, Paige, I'm thinking I'm transferring, right? Things are going well. This my position coach hates me, yada, yada, yada. I need to get the hell out of here, right? And So, like a lot of 18-year-olds, you're emotional. So I'm about to make an emotional decision. But anyway, so I spoke to Greg, and that initial meeting actually changed the trajectory of my whole life, not just my college career, but my whole life. So that's what kept me like focused on me, because he helped me to understand that. How about if you change like your perspective of this situation? And I was like, what are you talking about? It is what it is. The situation is the situation. This is my perspective. Mm-hmm. He's like, but if you look at it from a different view, and he was just brilliant with the way he approached things. So he helped me to see that, first and foremost, what guarantees did I have if I transferred to another university? That the grass was going to be greener, everything was going to be better, and I would be very successful. There were no guarantees in that. So why don't you try to figure out things here first? And then, for those that work out, you got to do what you got to do.
When you think of Greg, what are a few of the things that he shared with you that have stuck, that you perhaps passed on with your boys, your kids, your kids you've influenced and coached, and the bullet points of Greg Harden that you like to share?
Whew, you don't have enough time for that, Paige. This will have to be a whole Greg Harden segment. Okay. I mean, because he was a brilliant teacher. Brilliant teacher. But I mean, Greg would boil it down to like the basics. And I think that's what a master teacher does. Like if a teacher's talking above your head and you can't, like they need to meet you where you are. If they can't meet you where you are and make it make sense, then to me, they're not, I guess they're not a master teacher. They're just a regular, teacher. They need to have someone who can understand on their level. Greg was brilliant no matter who you were, no matter where you were. He would meet you at that point and then, take it from there. So, Greg was like, control the controllables. Things that are out of your control, you have to learn to let those things go and put 100% focus on what you can control. And that's like a life lesson. Give 100% effort, 100% of the time. And so then if you do that, even if you fall short, you're still up there in a pretty good stratosphere, so to speak. So there's just so many, life lessons that I've learned from him. And, he put them in a book. So he wrote a book called Stay Sane in an Insane World, which is another thing he used to say.
He has good ones.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, absolutely.
Really good ones. Well, we'll check out the book.
Yeah, please do.
In terms of, that prep work, I know it's carried with you, but it's obvious with College Game Day, and you guys are ready and you're prepared. But that's all starts, there's so much we learn from sports.
Yeah.
Talk about the importance of preparation and mindset in the middle of it all.
I believe that team sports is a great way to teach kids. Team sports is probably one of the best ways to teach kids a bunch of valuable life lessons. I really do. I think the earlier they participate in team sports, the better. And obviously you have to have a good coach. That helps. A good coach with a good staff helps. But just the the lessons of teamwork, being selfless, saying things that are bigger than yourself, understanding that you can be a part of something that's bigger than yourself, and you can reach these goals as a group, as a collective group, by working together. And appreciation for what your teammates bring to the team or to the game or to the project, So I believe that, you talk to a lot of CEOs of companies and they talk about how a lot of former athletes are some of their best employees because they understand the value of teamwork and being selfless and helping out another person and understanding the goal is bigger than the individuals. So there's a lot that, and like I said, I had some really good coaches. I really did. From my little league coaches who instilled a great foundation of discipline, hard work, sacrifice. It doesn't come without sacrifice. Yeah, when my buddies were watching cartoons Saturday mornings and eating cereal.
What were you doing?
I was out there busting my ass, working out, running, doing whatever sport it was at that time, and so that's a sacrifice, I'll tell you another story. When I was in high school, I never went to my prom. I sacrificed going to my prom because I wanted to participate in the regional track meet that Saturday. So the regional track meet was that Saturday. Prom was Friday night. I said, well, if I go to prom, I'm up all night, partying, dancing, whatever. Am I really putting myself in the best position to perform at the highest level at the regional track meet so I can go state, so I can qualify for the states? And so I never went to prom. Now, that's a sacrifice.
That is.
But that's me at an early age when most kids would be like, what? I'm going to the prom. I got my suit picked out. I know what I'm driving and everything. I got my date, but I like, I want to put myself in the best position possible to perform at the highest level so I can try to qualify for states.
And I'm sure that extended into college.
Yeah.
And in the pros, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those guys, they're going out, they're doing it both.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about the NFL. I mean, first of all, your list of teams that you were on is pretty mighty. There's some good ones in there.
Yeah, some real good ones.
Yeah. Is there, when you look back on that time, I mean, is it how many years?
How many years did I play?
NFL? Yeah.
11 seasons.
Years. Yeah,
11 seasons in NFL, yeah.
So, is there a favorite time of that or a favorite era?
Paige, listen, any little boy that picks up a football, his goal, two goals. It's either to play in the NFL, because he probably has a favorite NFL team, or he wants to see his favorite team, play in a Super Bowl. I don't care where you're, anywhere across America, I don't care. The kid has a favorite team, he wants to see his team play in the Super Bowl. So even though I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, my favorite team was the Dallas Cowboys. Now, back then, Dallas was really good. My favorite player was Tony Dorsett. He was a tailback. I played tailback because of Tony Dorsett. So anyway, to play in the Super Bowl is as good as it gets in this sport. Like, that's it. That is the top of the mountain. There ain't no football, Olympic team, or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's the NFL. And so to play for the Shield and to play in the Super Bowl was actually kind of surreal. It was mind-blowing because, I grew up watching the Super Bowls. It's like that was a big to-do. It still is today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a big thing. Like, you plan everything around that Super Bowl Sunday, So to say, oh, wow, everybody's planning everything now to watch me and my team play in this huge game. So, this is bigger than the game. It's an event. But so that was the ultimate, to play with the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 31 on the field with first ballot Hall of Famers was as good as it gets in the sport.
Well, congratulations on all that.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, looking back, Desmond, so much success, right?
Yeah.
How do you look back on it all at this point? You're still succeeding. You're still on the top of the game when it comes to sports broadcasting and broadcasting in general.
Yeah.
But how do you kind of look back on the career on the field?
Yeah. Well, I look. I'm very fortunate and blessed to still be involved in football. And college football is the one that I chose, and it's great. It's going fantastic now. But, I learned so many lessons on the field, and it was a blessing to play for 11 seasons where the average career is maybe 3.5. So that was tremendous. And the teammates, the friendships, and things like that I was able to make and have been able to continue throughout my life has been wonderful. So I loved it. It has brought a lot of joy, not just to myself, but to a lot of family and friends. So that's the thing that I really love, that that people who are close to me, they got to take that journey with me. And if it wasn't like for me, they never would experience certain things. So to be able to take people who have helped you along the way, or people that you have tremendous respect for, to be able to wow, give them this one unique experience of something like that. For me personally, I absolutely love that.
What are your goals looking ahead? What are some things?
Wow, that's a good question. Oh man, that's a really good question. Well,
what you look forward to?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
We need to come back to that one.
Yeah, because I'm trying. My day job is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like my day job, and I like to continue doing that. And I may write a book. I was in conversations with actually several people about writing a book, and so I may do that.
Good.
And yeah, that would probably be the next big project, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about fatherhood and bowl season. Can't forget that one.
No, we can't. We can't. Yeah.
So we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Paige Kornblue Show. PK here with Desmond Howard, Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl MVP, college game day co-host with such a team, quite a team, and my fellow Wolverine.
That's right.
That's right.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Yeah.
But wanted to touch upon fatherhood and what that's been like for you. So many of us joke what's harder, the career or parenthood?
Right, yeah.
It's all hard, right? It's all challenging and so rewarding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can do a whole segment on that. Yeah. It's the most rewarding part of my life. I absolutely love being a father. I mean, there's nothing I'd rather do, and people say they love their kids, they love their children. I'm in love with my children. Yeah, we have a wonderful relationship. I have great kids. I was blessed, it's the best. It's the best part of my life. I look, the good thing is my kids are older now, and
right?
Yeah, I have 3 kids, and as they get older, if you were ever cool, the older they get, the less cool you become. That's just it. That's how it goes. So I think that at one point, especially during high school, I was questioning whether I was still cool or not. And I would go to, because it gets to the point where if you're dropping your kids off at school, you can drop them off a block away now, or maybe 2 blocks away now.
Right here, Dad.
Yeah, you don't have to take me all the way to the door anymore, And so, I'm like, hey, I'm the cool dad. Your buddies watch me on TV all the time. What are you talking about? But, to them, nah, you're not that cool. So anyway, but we got through that phase. And, everything is fantastic. So, So it's what I feel as though I was born to do, actually.
No matter the stage, there's moments that are challenging as a parent, right? What's your advice to dads out there in terms of whether they're little or that 10-year-old or those teenagers, and then they say the bigger they get, the bigger the problems, right? What do you say, now that you've gotten through a good chunk of it?
Yeah. Some advice?
Yeah.
Well, I think that at different stages, there are different things that you need to know. But I think ultimately, so I was listening to a podcast one day, Mike Tyson, right? So I've known Mike Tyson since I was in high school. And so I'm listening to Mike Tyson do this podcast with a tennis coach. Mike Tyson has a daughter who loves to play tennis. And this coach, I think, trained either Venus and Serena, one or the other, or both. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, he had this deep French accent. I believe it was French. But they're talking, and so Mike is talking about going to his daughter's tennis practices. And he said he's not one of those parents who's vocal and wants to be seen, wants to be heard. He likes to play the back. and let the child do what they're doing. And he said that his role is to make sure that when he's there, that she feels supported and protected. So that always resonated with me because my dad, JD, would always be at my practices, right? And so I thought about that when he said it. It was like, damn, like that's how I always felt. Like my dad, he would just sit there and practice. He's not a part of the practice. He's not part of the games. You know what I mean? Like a lot of parents are. He's just there observing. But I always felt supported and I always felt protected when he was there. And so I'm like, that's how I am as a parent. Like when my kids played football, it could be intimidating for me to be there as a parent at practice. You know what I'm saying? And so I would make sure that was never the case. So I didn't say a word. I'm there. I'm going to watch my sons, but I'm not going to say anything. And my sons didn't hear any criticisms, any critiques, or any compliments about practice until we got in the car. Yeah. So anyway, so I think that would be my one of the lessons or words of advice I would give a parent. Just make sure your child always feels protected and supported.
What motivates you?
I have self-motivation. Yeah, I'm just a self-motivated person that's driven to get the best out of me. And like another life lesson that we spoke about Greg Harden earlier was what he helped me understand at an early age when I was in Michigan was what you need to focus on, young man, is becoming the best version of yourself. Become the best version of you and everything else will fall in place. And so I've always been motivated. I've always had like a foundation of discipline, and what motivates me now is just like, my children motivate me. Yeah, I'm definitely, because, we have like this line of communications now, especially like my sons will watch me on GameDay. They be like, that was great, Dad, or, something like that. So it's always good to get, because it's not easy to get compliments from your children.
Right.
It's it's like pulling teeth sometimes,
Few and far between.
There you go, exactly. Yeah. So if it happens, like, yes, all right. I really knocked that one out the park, right? So, so that's what motivates me. I'm very self-motivated to just be my best no matter what I'm doing, be the best at it that I can be at least. And then like, the kids, they definitely, they play a role of motivation too.
You talked about when we did an event together at the YMCA of South Palm Beach County, one of your main messages was kindness. It was so simple and so strong.
Yeah.
And something I think so many of us, no matter the age, need to, remember, right? In this day and age.
Yeah.
And that was important. Talk a little bit about that and that such a simple word.
Yeah.
That has such strong meaning.
It doesn't take much effort at all to be kind to people. Yeah. And people, they remember that. And it's just, to me, it's like an effortless gesture. So why don't you just be kind to people? And it's, it's really a challenge in what I do. Because with College Game Day, I got to pick a team. You got one fan base that loves you. Great job, Desmond. You're the best. Another fan base gonna be like, man, you suck. Why you hate us? Like that. Like, that's personal. So anyway.
And they remember that 10 years later. Do you remember when you played?
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. And so, and I travel a lot. And so, especially during the season, I'm running to all sorts of fans in the airports. Like you say, they remember those moments, whether they're good, bad, for or against their team. And so I always still try to greet them with a big smile and try to be kind to them, and, it works a lot. Yeah, it works oftentimes. I joke around that I should have like a police like body cam on me so I can record these moments, because there's been times where like, certain fan bases have seen me and they would like, come at me sideways, so to speak. And I would straighten them out with kindness. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
With Game Day, you talked about, in terms of all the things going on right now, I feel like it's a lot more than usual in terms of conference realignment, transfer portal talks, NIL. I mean, boom, a lot at once. You know, how do you look at it, kind of the state of college football right now?
Wow. All of the change, you know, there's been gradual change that we've accepted in college football because it's easier to accept, you know, gradual, subtle changes. This has been massive and overwhelming, so to speak, you know, because all at once, you know, all these different teams with the conference realignment, a lot of coaching staff changes. You got the portal with NIL, so now kids are hopping all around the place, and so it's a lot to wrap your mind around. And then on top of that, hey, we're going to drop this 12-team college football playoff format on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, it's overwhelming, but we have to roll with the punches. Yeah.
And thanks for breaking it all down. You guys do that beautifully every week. One more quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk bowl season.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Paige Kornblue Show. Desmond Howard with me. Desmond, we want to talk bowl season. Obviously, ESPN colleagues here. I work for the Boca Raton Bowl, do college game day, and you were involved in the Boca Raton Bowl 2 times.
Yeah. So I called the Boca Raton Bowl, and you know, full disclosure, I used to call Boca Raton home. I used to live here, so that was like even cooler for me. But you know, it's like, you know, you obviously have played in Michigan. It's the biggest college football stadium, not the biggest football stadium in the country, and so I'm used to these big stadiums, big crowds, what have you. But Boca Raton, first of all, I love the community because I lived here, so I'm very familiar with the community. The stadium, I think, is just so very unique. It's quaint. It's a beautiful stadium. And then you can actually see the water from the stadium, which is an added perk.
Yeah.
And so it was just a lot of fun. It's beautiful all the time. And we had some great teams. And what I liked was, like, you have the teams who would come down here from, you know, different regions of the country. And they would just be blown away by the beauty of Boca Raton and the hospitality of the committee and the things that they did to put the bowl on. So it was a fantastic experience.
I always say some of these guys have never even been to the beach, and they jump in December, no matter what the temperature is. For the Floridians here, we're like, ooh, it's a little cold.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't care.
Not at all.
They're in there.
That's a good point. You're right.
So, you know, first of all, the bowl games that you participated in as a player, I mean, I know now you're covering all of them, all different sizes and the biggest of the best.
Yeah.
But as a player, what were the couple that you were in?
So, you know, back then, the major bowl was the Rose Bowl. And everyone, you know, it was termed the granddaddy of them all. And that's how we looked at it. You know, January 1, it was like everyone was watching it. I don't care, you know, who your favorite team might have been at the time. You still watched the Rose Bowl. And so I played in, we went to 3 and went to the Gator Bowl. And the Gator Bowl was wild because it was my opportunity to play against an SEC school. We played against Ole Miss in the Gator Bowl. And I had a fantastic game. Scored 2 touchdowns. And I had a great game. But our running backs had a fantastic game too. So it was one of the only times I ever witnessed an offensive line as a unit getting MVP of a bowl game. Oh. Our offensive line got MVP of that bowl game. Yeah, the Gator Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a great experience.
What is it about bowl season that's so important to the game?
Well, before the playoffs,
right?
It was like our playoff season. You know what I mean? It was like this is like our playoff season. But now we have the playoff. Even the bowls are still intertwined in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So the bowl seasons are special because, first of all, like I said, I had like the unique opportunity to play against schools that you would never play during the regular season, but were prominent programs. You know, we would play against a USC. You know, they're not going to be on our Big Ten schedule back then. So to play against like some popular programs with great players and great coaches and see how you measure up to those teams was always something as a competitor I look forward to, and I think that these kids today do too. The bold gifts, man, those have gotten really, really good. You know, we get like a little sweatsuit, a hat, maybe a ring and a watch. Like, yeah, these kids now, the gifts have really gotten much better. Yeah. So the kids look forward to that. Going to an area of the country that's usually, that time of the year, the weather's beautiful, pretty tropical. And they get a chance to see the area, the community, and it's always good. It's like, it's not a vacation, but it's a trip. It's a work trip. But back then, especially like if we're traveling from Michigan, from Ann Arbor out to California, we'd have like this big dinner that they will host for us, things of that nature. So it's festive. It's an event, but at the end of the day, you get to compete against a team that you normally wouldn't compete against during the regular season. And it's your opportunity to see how you measure up with them.
Mm-hmm. And wrapping up, Desmond, what's your overall kind of message, some final thoughts for folks who, I always like to say, like, bring it back down to real life, the nitty gritty, the day to day. Some of our days are strong and awesome. And then some days, not so good. Some moments, not so good. How do you get through some of those moments, and what would you share with others to kind of, hey, let's get up, let's get back on the field. Well,
I tell you what. So when I was in high school, my dad, he did like this. They call it. He worked in a manufacturing plant. So it was like, to me, it was hard work. And one summer, I got an opportunity to go to work with him. Like, I guess bring a kid to work for a summer or whatever. So anyway, so I went to work with my dad. And Paige, I can tell you this, like, probably like 3 days in, I'm not cut out for this. Like, I got to get a college degree. I got to get an education, because this is, I have to get a job where I'm not working in a manufacturing plant. But what it did is it gave me another perspective of my father. So I got to look at him through a different lens. Like, he was so well respected in his job. Everyone there talked like just glowingly about my dad. Like, they had so much respect for him. He never complained. He was excellent at his job, like really good at his job. And but as difficult as it was, he never took it home with him. So now I'm experiencing firsthand what he goes through on a daily basis. But I never would have, known this had I not, spent that summer, going to work with my dad. So, complain less, work hard, and always treat people with kindness and respect.
Desmond Howard on the Paige Kornblue Show. We'll put all sorts of links to follow Desmond, right? How can folks connect with you?
Yeah.
You're on social media these days.
Well, listen, you know how to spell my name. I ain't hard to find.
Bam, right there.
Yeah,
right there.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Until next time. Cheers.